Hey everybody, welcome to the G1 Gamedays podcast, where the third segment is just going to be pain. Pain like you've never experienced before. I'm your host, Johnny Chase. Down to my lower left here, we have Zach, the fat man.
Hello.
His triumphant return to Gamedays. And with the little image on the lower right is Mr. Jimbo Socks.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Give me that. I watched Toy Story. Raw General Manager's messaging you.
Ruh-roh. I've just received an email.
And I quote, I just received an email that I'm going to read off this sheet of paper on the MacBook.
And as someone says in chat, Dookie Butter.
Oh, no, I forgot about
Dookie Butter.
Stay straight Dookie Butter.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Oh.
So yeah, what a I mean, the obvious stuff going on in the world. What a difference 2 weeks can make to the podcast. All we're gonna say is stay safe. Love everybody, please. It's not so hard, especially our African American brothers and sisters. Please just love everyone, especially at this time of month. It's Pride Month. Happy Pride Month.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yes. That's the thing, is that with all this going on right now, is everyone's forgetting that this is Pride Month. That's all we're gonna say on the subject. I mean, plenty of podcasts, plenty of Twitters, plenty of Facebooks have probably inundated you with enough video and links to worthy causes that if you can donate to. So we're gonna, for hopefully the next 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how long we ramble, try to keep everything positive and because we're not a gigantic channel by any means. I mean, I think we're all pretty well educated men and women. We can, us, so we don't have to put it out there. That's what we stand for. You know what we stand for. As the director of the movie I just watched this afternoon said once, enough being political. Let's do dick and fart jokes. Jimbo, how you doing tonight?
Boy, you segue into me with that one? I am doing well. Just kind of been keeping in, just playing a lot of Apex, and it's alarming how much Apex I'm playing lately.
Yeah, you were mentioning today on Eric's Mixer stream that you think you might be addicted.
Yeah, it's gone to the point where I physically don't put down my controller until I get a win in Apex. So I've been playing on PlayStation the last 4 nights, and I've gotten a win every night. And I'll have to upload the clip later to Twitter, but I got a win today where it was me versus another squad of I think 2 or 3, and I was just standing still in the circle, and all of a sudden it said you are the champion. I'm assuming that they were all down or the circle moved in too fast. I don't know what happened, but
it's like I'll take the win any way I can.
I laughed.
I benefited from it.
Yep, I laughed. I put the controller down. I said, "Okay, I've hit my peak for the day."
Yeah. Other than Apex, you playing anything else?
My usual rotation of Slay the Spire, jumping in with Eric when he jumps into Titanfall or any other shooter racer game. Still pumping out Minecraft since the realm has our new little area that hasn't been touched by survival, that hasn't been touched by creative mode. But that's really about it.
Now, question to go in this: we do have one extra special Minecraft stream left for extra life donators. You're dead. No, are we doing a new map on that and starting fresh, or?
Yes. So that was one that I threw out. I might have thrown it out on Twitter, but I've also talked about with everybody here. I think I'm going to open up a new realm for that, just because it'll be easier for me. Plus, I don't want to start us off in the same realm And I obviously don't want to reset the realm because a lot of people have put a lot of time and effort into a lot of the stuff they've built, whether it's a house or hell, our Monopoly board. So I'll be sending out invites for a new realm when I decide to do that, which probably should be this month actually.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that because I've actually been looking forward to it. Yeah, I think it'll be good. I'll try to stream, like, I think for that, if anyone can, maybe try to stream their, or at least record their, perspectives, and maybe you can try some type of multi-edit to it.
Yeah, because it's going to be chaos, and my obviously my hope is that nobody would die in the first episode, but we'll see.
You underestimate my power.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, Zach, how like I can't. We do weeks here, but you haven't been on the podcast in a while, and you haven't been on Game Days in a while. What have you been up to? I mean, if anything, you can elaborate on.
I talked to Woody. He said it was fine. So yes. So I've been gone for a month. I was really busy with school, my mom, a bunch of other stuff, but had an accident with my handgun. And I was cleaning it, and I got careless and wasn't following gun safety rules, and I wound up shooting my hand.
Ouch.
So after all that happened, I let Woody know. I wound up getting like 3 weeks behind in school in the last 3 weeks of school. So the last month I haven't been able to play video games. I'm playing Animal Crossing right now. It's the first time I've been able to play a video game. But I've been catching up on school, trying to get my hand healed up. Might need a little bit of physical therapy, but other than that, good.
Oh man, like it like when you say it went off, like did it go straight through it? Did it graze it?
So
you don't need to be super detailed. Just like
it was just a deep graze. It went across that muscle in my thumb.
Oof.
And honestly, it was a miracle it didn't hit anything else. From the trajectory of the bullet, it should have also gone through part of my arm, but didn't. Bullet basically changed trajectory and hit a chair instead. So I'm alive. I can use my hand.
Yes.
I can still move all my fingers. Luckily, I've lost some strength in that thumb, but that can be easily fixed.
Yeah, I mean, like if no nerves were torn off completely, like you rehab it enough, you'll be okay. Yeah. But man, like I didn't know.
Yeah,
this is the first
nobody knows. Nobody knows. I didn't want Woody telling anybody at first, just because more than anything, it was embarrassing. Or at least I felt it was. But I'm like, accidental discharge of a firearm for firearm owners, it's a very normal thing. It's just most people are smart enough to get their hands away. I was just not.
That's crazy. I'm glad it was nothing super serious, man. I'm glad you're okay. Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, you're not that one dude that shot his G Fuel and got banned on Twitch. At least you weren't streaming it, right?
No. And it's not one of those things where, like, obviously guns are not toys, people. I was cleaning and disassembling mine while I was watching TV and just not paying attention to what I was doing. Which is, one of the things you're not supposed to do. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. But yes, not toys. Don't do stupid things, and be careful.
Yeah. So I can already tell, like, the first thing that after an injury like that crosses your mind is, how soon do I get back to playing video games? I remember when I broke this wrist here.
Yeah.
This is the stupidest thing. I broke my wrist when I was 14 or 15 driving a mini cart. One of my father's friends decided he was going to invest in these off-road go-karts. And he built this track, and he wanted me and my brother to test him out. And me, being 14, 15 years old, I know how to drive a car. I was just go all the way, push it down to the floor, right? No problem. I'm hitting the bumps, and then I floor, I bump, I lose control, I smash it right into a tree, and just broke it. And I'm like, okay, how soon can I go back to playing Nintendo 64? So like, luckily the way they set the cast, I was still able to like, and shave off a little bit here to I could stick my hand into the N64 controller and still play.
There we go.
Yeah,
you got to find a workaround. But no, I haven't. I played guitar for the first time 2 nights ago, and I wound up actually tearing one of the stitches. I won't tell my doctor that. But this is the first video game I've been able to play, and it's weird. But yeah, no, I was extremely worried. I'm like, I mean, obviously gaming one, but I play guitar, bass, and drums, and I work at a music store. So I'm like, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna be able to do anything like soon about it? But it's healing up really, really well.
Yeah. So for your music store, have you guys reopened after like pandemic? Like, are you guys like keeping things?
They reopened the week before the accident happened, and then literally the day I got home from the hospital and from where it happened, we were at my aunt's house at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I got a call and they said, "Hey, you want to come back to work?" I'm like, kind of had an accident. It's like, well, you need to come back to work because we're calling you back. You can't collect unemployment anymore, so you're gonna come back to work, right? I'm like, yep, I guess so. So we've been open for a couple weeks. Right now we were open from 12 to 7. We're now open from 12 to 6 because they're in this part of the state where I'm at. There is a 7 o'clock curfew, so you cannot be out past 7 o'clock or you'll get fined. So now we're closing at 6, and there's been several protests in that area where our store is. And they've every time that it started, we've been shut down and we've had to, leave and go home.
Yeah.
So it's been crazy, but the protests that were over there were peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally cool.
Yeah.
It was just for safety reasons, like corporates, like just go ahead, get out of there, get home safe.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And over here, like we've only had one protest. It was a couple days ago. It was very peaceful. They started at a park. Everyone was keeping distance, and they moved to City Hall to continue it. There was no instances, except for one video that went viral on Facebook where a guy was recording on his porch, his neighbor above his porch, shouting racial slurs at the entire group.
No.
Like didn't matter if you're African American or Caucasian. He was shouting at everyone. Everyone was equal. Thankfully, he's been charged and arrested.
Good.
Yeah. So that's the one good thing that's come out of this one here. As far as me, hey, remember last week, and I told Wolf, I said, yeah, I'm going back to work soon. That's like I'll be going back next week. That'll be all happy. Literally, I think the day after the podcast, I get a call from my manager that says, check your email. There's something you have to update on your schedule. I was like, okay. And it was from our district manager. He's like, okay, we're going to do a conference call with everyone in the department at this time. And I'm like, if you're a wrestling fan, this sounds oddly familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So I get online, and sure enough, he comes on and he's like, we're opening up the stores, but because of how everything's limited right now, only a select few full-time employees are going to be working, and the rest, unfortunately, including part-timers, we have to put you on furlough. So luckily, I had been paid by the company the entire time I had been off, but now they're like, okay, we can only pay you up to this amount. We're going to give you a certain amount of allowance, but you'll need to apply for the government's emergency funding until we get this sorted out. So I may not be going back to work until the end of summer at the very latest, depending if restrictions lift. Restrictions are right now is they're not even open up full hours. They're like before we used to open up from 9 till 9. Now we're from 10 to 6. And the guys have to stay an extra half an hour to an hour after they close the doors so that the system registers their hours. They can get a full day's pay,
Jesus.
which is pretty dumb.
What? So wait. So how many people are on the team right now working?
On any given day, there's probably 3 people, which is on a Sunday. But the thing is that the mall that our store's in is not that busy because half the stores aren't even open yet. And maybe 5 or 6 of them that are, hey, welcome. What do you need? Oh, I don't need anything. Okay, go. What do you mean, go? You can't browse. Well, why not? It's like we're excluding browsing. If you know what you want, you can come in. It's like, well, I haven't been in your store 3 months. I don't know what you have, so I need to see with my eyeballs, and then I'll be like, hey, that's cool. I'll go buy that. Because your websites, like all the websites I go to for things that I want, they don't keep accurate inventory of your store. So, like, case in point, like, my Neo Geo Mini came in the mail finally. Thank you, Wolf, for shipping it to me. But motherfuckers at SNK didn't put a mini. It takes a mini HDMI cable, not a regular HDMI cable. Of course, nobody in town has that, so I got to order that on Amazon. But I'm like looking at Walmart, they don't have it. And then I'll try the source, and they're like, "Oh no, you gotta no browsing." I was like, "Do you have this?" And they're like, "Oh, like," and I don't have a news story for it, but like, set the clock again for another story on the podcast about GameStop and EB Games. They've joined the ranks of, sorry, we can't let you browse. It's like I don't know what you have. It's like, well, I wanted to go back and be like, let me ask you. If someone says, I'm looking for a particular Funko Pop, you're not going to know. You have like 100 of them sitting up there. I have to rummage through it myself to try and find it.
Exactly.
It's a little ridiculous. And then people are tweeting at me saying, like, oh, it's because they need to keep people safe. I was like, all right, I understand that, but I don't know. Like, I think I'm starting to go stir crazy about, like, you know, let's just start getting things back to normal again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, my only hope is that from my work, old people have learned how to use direct deposits and paying online, and they'll never come in the store to pay a bill again.
Johnny, if you think that's going to happen afterwards, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
I asked my assistant manager that when I went to go say hi to the guys. He's just like, it's been all bill payments. And here's the worst thing. We have this little, like, we have a touchscreen screen that, like, people say, oh, well, I want to see my bill. We could turn it around and say, hey, here's your thing on your bill. Can't do that. And I said, because you're afraid they'll touch, because we're afraid they'll touch it. They're not allowed to touch anything. Like, they have the arrows, like, here you go, form a line here. That's the one thing I don't
do it this way.
I hope to God, actually, that's the one thing that remains is the arrows. It says, here's the line, form it here. Because I can't tell you how many fights I've had to breaking up with people going like, actually, I was here first. You're over there looking at the phones. I'm like, okay, I don't care. You're next. Come over. But I was Usually I wait for someone to say something like really offensive, and I'm like, okay, I'm serving him because you said something offensive to him. Come on over, buddy.
You moron. That's it. The other guy's getting served first. But I would.
No, they don't call him. They
Right,
call him something worse that I can't repeat on the podcast, but
yeah.
They call you duty head?
they call you Duke. They call you the Duke butter.
Dookie butter. So our store usually has 4 people working in store at a time, and Guitar Center is like a huge chain across the US, so I mean it's a big store. So 4 of us, the entire store, it's literally 2 or 3 managers and then me, and then if one of the managers isn't there, it's another associate, and that's it. And it'd be one thing if it was, you know, we weren't super busy, but we are busy like all day. We have people who are come in, like you said, they want to come and browse. We have to limit their browsing time, but they want to come in. They'll want to sit there and play guitars for, you know, like an hour. Well, you can't do that. We're not set up for that right
No,
now.
no.
No stairway.
We have people waiting outside to come in. If you're not planning to buy anything, you're in here just messing around playing guitar. You can play guitar at home.
Yeah.
We've got to take care of people who
Yeah.
need to come in and get what they need and get home.
So I was telling that to because we went to our comic book store, and they there was like we had just gotten in there and we were at the capacity of people. So I was like, all right, we'll stay, like we'll be quick. I grabbed my thing, and of course Melanie's like looking at everything. I was just like, honey, did you find what you want? No, I'm still looking. I said, well, we gotta hurry because there's people waiting. And then she's paying her stuff, and then she's got to make the conversation. I'm like, honey, just pay for your stuff and go.
I mean, I can't play YYZ.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been my 2 weeks. Other than the games I've been playing, and I had to because my streaming schedule has been increased because of the pandemic. So now I've got like a lot more games I've completed over the last couple weeks. So and I had to make notes about them. What did I do? Finished up Fall of Cybertron. I really wish High Moon Studios didn't go out of business and they could like make another one based on Earth. Because I did War of Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, and then they did Rise of the Dark Spark, which was a tie-in with the movie, but it was like alternate dimensions, all based around a dark matrix.
What? Which one did you beat with Shiro and Patrick?
War for Cybertron.
War for Cybertron. Okay,
Yeah, that's the one that has co-op. All the other ones are just single player. Unfortunately, that's
gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know why game companies do that. It's like they put it in a co-op mode and then they take it out, or they reduce the number of players.
Cough, cough. Looking at you, Halo and Gears.
Yeah. Speaking of, we'll get to Gears talk later because of the movie. The Iron Man VR demo dropped on the PlayStation, and man, that was a ton of fun. Like
I was gonna say, it looked, just watching, it looked like something that if I had a PSVR, I would definitely get.
Oh hell yeah! Like
I'd be
I am
worried about
actually
running into everything.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of knocked over a few things while I was playing.
How many Funko Pops did you lose?
None. Although I am thinking of, instead of putting the because like the TV is on, but like really we don't use it's just for the person that's sitting here, which is usually just Melanie. So they could have taken the PlayStation camera and sticking it next to where the webcam is, and that way we'll have more room. I can just like move out there. Because I had this problem when we were playing Surgeon Simulator. I ran out of space, and I was like reaching for tools. I was like, I can't get the scalpel. I can't get the. Well, this guy's doomed. I grabbed the drill and just right into his head until he died. Yeah, the VR night was really fun. I got more Super Hot in. Melanie tried out Batman Arkham VR, which I couldn't see half of the stuff she could see on the TV, but apparently she's like looking down like this with her wand and like going into her, I was like, are you taking stuff out of your utility belt? She's like, yeah. So she would go like this, and then I'd see her go like this, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then I'd hear, she's like, oh my god, that's the grappling hook. That's amazing. I need to play that. We also did the in Battlefront, there's a Rogue One VR simulator where you're just basically in the cockpit of a X-Wing. So like she did like the first little bits, like flying through an asteroid field, and she couldn't do the dogfighting, so she gave it to me, and I was like, man, like I put the earbuds in, and it's crazy immersive. I am so actually pumped because they're bringing that Oculus VR Darth Vader game. They're bringing that to PlayStation VR.
Ooh.
I'm probably going to get that. Did Mel get a sandwich from Alfred? No, she got drive-through.
And when you use drive-through, you never leave home without your American Express card.
Was that the ad for that commercial?
It was a product. It was a product placement in the movie because they're bidding on if I remember correctly, they were bidding on on Poison Ivy, and he pulled out his American Express Black Card. I could be wrong on that, but I thought, and he goes, never leave home without it.
Oh no, that was the Bat credit card.
That's it.
That's my worst Doug Walker impression ever.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Who?
Thank you.
Sounds like an old guy.
Yeah. one night I just randomly decided to play Metroid, so I went through and beat that, the old school NES one, so I can put that in my cap of Metroid games beaten on the channel. I think there will be one that I'll never complete, and that'll be Samus Returns, just because fuck that boss.
The baby?
No, not the baby. That's Other M. I don't know if I'll beat that one either. I'm gonna try it again, and we'll see.
Fair enough.
Last Tuesday I did the Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath DLC. That was a good story mode, and then I got to play around with Shiva, Fujin, and RoboCop, and then test out everyone's friendships. Just like, man, MK11 is just a game that keeps on giving.
It's surprising. It's given as much content. I think it's given just a shade under content as much as Tekken has. And obviously, I don't think it's been out as long as Tekken, or I could be wrong on that. But the idea that they did a story DLC excites me. That companies, it's at least someone's like, oh, you know what? We had this great story mode, this great campaign / just linear story that you could play through. You know what? Let's add a little bit more on top of that. And it's like, thank you.
Yeah.
We don't always need more fighters and more bullshit. Just sometimes occasionally be like, hey, you like that story? Here's a little more for you.
I would love for them to go back and do that for Injustice too, like add more story. But no, they it ended on a way that we'll get an Injustice 3 and maybe some finality to the whole story. Or they'll do what the DC Animated Universe does and just have Barry go back and reset everything.
Oh, you saw that too?
I saw the clip. I haven't. At some point during my furlough, I'm going to sit down and chronologically watch every single New 52 DC animated movie, starting back with Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah,
because I stopped, I think, around Batman versus Robin, because I haven't seen the Teen Titans versus Justice League or whatever.
It's surprising that we can get the DC animated to put together a string of decent films, but for the movie versions, Well,
I mean, all that talk with the Snyder Cut now, they're thinking of they're asking Henry Cavill to come back for Man of Steel 2. They want Ben Affleck to do a movie for HBO Max.
Again, I had no problem with Henry Cavill as Superman. I was looking forward to what could have been Man of Steel 2. Had no problem with Affleck as Batman. I prefer him as Bruce Wayne. Got no problem with him as Batman, but it just, I think Marvel spoiled us with how much good they do, how much good they've given us with all the perfect cast actors into roles, that anytime DC's like, oh, well, Robert Pattinson's going to be our Batman, fanboys light up the internet. How dare they? He's not a Batman. He's a sparkly vampire. How dare they let him play Batman? It's like, take a breath. People know what they're doing. Give them a chance.
I don't I have gone back and said now, I don't get all mad about casting decisions anymore, because I was wrong about Maguire. I was wrong about a lot of people. Melanie and I even were stating, when they cast Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, we're like, why can't you just pick? And we name dropped whatever the girl who was on American Gladiators. Fuck, I can't remember her name. Fast and Furious, Deadpool, Gina something or other.
Oh, Gina Carano.
Yes. I was like, she would be a great Wonder Woman. But lo and behold, Gal Gadot surprised me. So you never know. Pattinson might surprise us all as well.
Silent Hero says he constantly shits on Twilight.
Yeah, even though he, but as Woody said in the chat there, good 3 to 4 hour DLC for the story mode. Multiple endings as well. You can pick who you want to add. I loved it when a friend of the show, Tarvor's Quest, came in and he never realized that. He's like, is that the actor from the movie playing Shang Tsung? I said, yes. He's like, holy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Mortal Kombat 11 went all out with their ad. I think in Brussels or France, they have Christopher Lambert playing with some gamer guy and doing the Raiden laugh. He beat him with Raiden, which he starts going.
How? Don't get me wrong. I love the guy they have voicing Raiden right now. But how hyped would you have been if they made it a DLC, or they made it like an extra, or they made like a separate raid where you could play as Christopher Lambert's Raiden. But that
Injustice
voice
does it. Because there's skins where you can change Green Lantern from Hal Jordan to John Stewart. You can change Captain Cold to Mr. Freeze. You can change Supergirl to Power Girl. They're different or they're the same character though, Tom. Fight me.
Come on. I just want to hear Christopher Lambert scream enough as he enters into the battle scene.
Yeah. And then maybe throw a little, maybe if they have like the battle back and forth and it's just like, one of us will die here tonight, Raiden. And he goes, there can be only one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're Mrs. Superman to Bizarro. Mm-hmm. And I think even Batman has like a Bruce Wayne skin. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I finally got around to putting together my perfect Cell model kit. It took me about 4.5 hours to do that, and now I'm addicted. So I started picking up more model kits. So I got this at our hobby store. So I'm gonna put that together on stream some point. Enterprise from Enterprise, and he's all the way over there.
Oh, was that a TIE fighter? Sorry. I'm gonna go away now.
There is like model, like really detailed model kits of Star Wars. Like I've seen like X-Wings, and then there's actual like figure model kits. Like I've seen Kylo Ren at my comic book stores. Those might be fun to put together too. I did buy a Super Saiyan Vegeta to kind of round up the whole Cell saga, so I'll set him next to my trunks.
If I remember correctly, you played Halo 2 with Woody.
Yes, that was the next one there. Woody says he fell asleep playing. There are moments where I just kept hearing. And then
you guys beat it in 2 nights, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
We did it on heroic. I wasn't gonna put him through the hell of a legendary.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Halo always good. He had never played it, and we were flipping between the graphics, and we were just like putting on our uninspired glasses and going, "Oh, remember this? What games used to be like? This was 2 generations ago."
Podcast officially sponsored by Diet Pepsi.
Sorry. I have to keep hydrated. I didn't even want to be rude and run up and grab my G Fuel, but because I'll just put I just need some caffeine in me right now to keep hype.
It's understandable.
Yeah. So we did that in a couple nights. I tried out with TurboGrafx on Friday. I was supposed to do my Neo Geo, but then again, they didn't send the goddamn cable with it. But the TurboGrafx, not bad. My only gripe with it is there's a lot of shooters on there, like shoot 'em ups. But that was what the TurboGrafx was known for. But like when you flip it over to the PC Engine and the PC Engine CD, like the Japan only stuff, that's where it gets like really, really good. Like Castlevania, Rondo Blood's on there. There's actually, I never knew there was a version of Ninja Gaiden on there. It plays just it looks like the NES version. It's kind of what they should have done on the Ninja Gaiden trilogy, was like a better soundtrack and a little bit better graphics, but like they just only seem to tweak it a little bit for the Super Nintendo. They try to make the Super Nintendo version their Mario All-Stars, and it just doesn't work out. But the cutscenes were all there. They were redone as well. It wasn't a shot-by-shot one. For the bulk of the PC Engine, you'll need Gaijin Gupin to translate, says Wordman in the chat. Absolutely, yeah, because there's a lot of them that are a lot of Japanese games, a lot of text-heavy games, like Snatcher's on there, but you can't play it because it's a semi-visual novel-ish type game. So modders are quick to work to try and hack the system, and hopefully they can put some English patches in some of those games. Like, I actually do want to sit down and play Snatcher and find out, what a young Hideo Kojima was like before, he got swept up in Hollywood, and be like, I need to make movies, not video games. Where did it all go downhill?
Movies disguised as video games.
And finally, to round that up, I started Chrono Trigger last night. Yeah, it's I'm at the point where I think I stopped the last time I played it. The last time I played it was like 10 years ago.
Spoilers for those in the chat who haven't played before.
I'm sorry, spoiling a 25-year-old game. Whoopee.
Yeah. I think the what's the word I'm looking for here? The The statute of limitations has passed. I think if anything, if it's 25 years old, you can spoil it.
Hey,
Yeah, exactly.
it's older than me.
Oh, no. It might be, actually.
I'm only 24.
Yeah. So I know it's Short Bus Eric's favorite RPG, and it's something that's been on my list for a while, and I want to actually hammer that out. Because it's not that long of an RPG. It's like 15, 20 hours, according to chat. So be playing that for the next couple of nights.
Make sure you find all the pine cones.
That's
That's a reference to a vine that I don't think anybody would get.
You're a pine cone.
Oh.
Is that the what's his name? Prozac?
ProZD.
ProZD?
Yeah, ProZD, yeah.
It's like it's like, all right, I found the acorns. Like, oh, you have to find 100 acorns. It's like, for fuck's sakes.
We are going to battle to where you're going. I'm exploring the room. But get back here. We're going to fight. I found a potion. I don't care if you found a potion. Get over here.
Yeah, so that's been our weeks. It's time to actually. This is a good way to segue because we have the two people who created this tune in the podcast.
Hey.
You guys want to sing it live, or you just want me to go hit the video?
Both.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. It's the Newz.
Beep boop boop beep boop 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 bah.
It's stereo.
Yeah.
All right, first up in the news, we officially are on the road to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie. So the Sonic sequel has been officially put into pre-production. I mean, was there any doubt? If you saw the mid-credit scene, it was going to happen. Again, we're spoiling the movie, but at this point, it's been out digitally. It's out on Blu-ray and DVD. The mid-credit scene is once, Sonic saves the world and he decides to stick around, Tails shows up to try and find Sonic. And that's what's going to lead us into number 2. Because you can't have Sonic 2 without Tails.
No. I mean, yeah. I think, too, the reason... It again goes back to, this is one of the first few times that the film industry actually listened to the internet. It was like, as we all know, and it's been said a million times, they went back and fixed, quote unquote, fixed everything and updated it to make it look like a decent Sonic.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what do we get rewarded with? Well, we get rewarded with another sequel. Don't get me wrong, I want to still see the original cut of the movie with whatever that Sonic was that they released in the original trailer.
With human teeth, Sonic.
Yeah. Meow. But at the same time, it made what, like, did it make over 100 million? I know it was at 60 at one point. Like,
according to this article, it said 306 million.
Okay, I understand
box
that.
office haul.
Well,
and
then
then it was quickly shift to digital platforms because of COVID-19. They didn't know how long it was going to take for them to get it on Blu-ray. It is on Blu-ray now, if you want to buy it physically, but it's been on digital for quite a while.
It makes me happy that the internet came together for this kind of thing, and now it's like, oh hey, you get rewarded with a sequel.
And as I explicitly said, I said when they came back and said, "We hear you, we understand, we are going to fix this," I said, because of that, you get my money.
Yep.
It's like, you were listening, you get my money. And I told everyone else, I said, if you were the ones that complained, and you don't go see this, or you pirate the movie, fuck off. Like, if you're complaining about it, you're basically saying to them, if you change it, I will go see it, and I'll give you money. And that's what I told them. I said, can you fix this? I will go see it. You fixed it? Cool. And it was an enjoyable film.
Yeah.
Really enjoyable for kids, too. Like,
plus, we get Jim Carrey doing what he does best in movies.
It's Jim Carrey playing Dr. Robotnik playing Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I think there was a funny tweet that came out of all this, is that Adam Sandler went to go see it, and he tweeted at Adam Sandler or at Jim Carrey and said, like, "Oh man, I'm enjoying this movie you're in, man. This is really cool." And he said, "Lo and behold, but I know that would be the last movie I've seen in theater." Because it came out Valentine's Day? Yeah, Valentine's Day. It was in theaters for a few weeks, and then COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so official sequel. Wait, Zach, did you see the movie?
I have not seen it yet.
To be honest, I haven't seen it either. It's on my to watch list at some point, but
Yeah.
I mean, don't expect like a lot of stuff to be targeted towards adults. It is, if you go in mindset with saying that it's a kids movie and it's goofy. I mean, I think you'd enjoy it. I mean, it's not going to have the stuff that people are trying to throw in the chat here. Like, what do you mean? I hope the plot of Sonic 2 has movie director named Clit and Sonic finds God and becomes Moses.
Damn it, Woody. God, can we scrub that from our memories? Where's the thing from Ben and Black?
What is it? The neuralizer?
Yeah.
Neuralizer, yeah.
Yeah, no. The worst part is we still got one more stream of that. We still got.
Because you only have for Sonic Adventure 2, you have like a couple of episodes left of the Dark World or the Dark theme, and then there's like the middle one where everything flips back and forth.
Yeah, it's like the Supersonic thing from the first Sonic Adventure. It's like it's all the ending stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think that takes too long either, if I remember right.
Yeah. So next up, so the Sony event, we'll just touch this real quickly. The Sony event was supposed to be tomorrow to review all the info about the PS5, but because he sensitized, Sony has decided to push that back. They have not given a future date though of when the next time they're going to try this, but they're supposedly we're going to show off the console itself, maybe show some exclusive games for the thing, and maybe a price point. Because at this point right now, we're in this was supposed to be the big E3-ish extravaganzas. So like we were supposed to have like all the big events and then the show floor. Although who knew if that was going to happen anyway? Because a lot of people were pulling out of the event regardless if it was going to take place regardless of COVID or not. I've heard rumors though that it's probably going to be a little bit more pricey than what the PS4 was at launch. And what was the PS4 at launch? Like $399?
I think so.
And I think the Xbox One was $499.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they might jump back up to that.
It honestly wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
I honestly thought they were going to be more expensive.
You were thinking like $600-700?
Yeah, I mean, like I was thinking, like $599 for the Xbox One X and probably $499 or $549 for like the PS5, just because it's getting a lot harder to keep up with PC. And I'm still a fan of console gaming, obviously, but it's just one of those things where there's so much you can do with the PC now and get more for your money than with consoles, and there's a lot more doors opening up on PC for different games faster than consoles and their companies can keep up with. It's just it's in a weird spot.
Yeah, I will say a couple of comparisons for those of us that have played Grand Theft Auto on our annual monthly visit to GTA 5. Everyone can kind of agree it takes like 10 minutes to load up GTA 5 on the Xbox, maybe more. Depending on if you load in directly to online or if you go into single player like I do first. I loaded it up on the PC because we got it for free with the Epic Game Store. Less than 5 minutes, if that. And it was... I was surprised how quickly it loaded. I was like, oh, wait, that's right. This is a PC version of the game. It loads much faster. And even like you mentioned about the features that you might not have on console that you get on PC, even something as simple as a game we played this past Sunday, dating the podcast, obviously, but this past Sunday we played golf with your friends, Wolf hosted. The biggest thing that's missing from the port over to the consoles is the course editor. You can only play, as of right now, you can only play the courses that I think 12 to 16 courses they have in the game. You can't make your own. Where on PC, you could find everyone could make their own course if they wanted to.
Interesting. Yeah, so I'm anticipating a big. Now, the thing is that I don't anticipate these things selling very well at launch because
Is it
of where
still
we're at.
releasing? Is it still releasing holiday this year? Or did they push it to next year? I couldn't remember.
As far as I know, both the Series X and PS5 are scheduled to launch holiday.
Okay.
Now, thing is, I'm not going to be picking up anymore on holiday because I'm probably going to be trying to rebuild everything once I get my job back.
Understandable.
Even if I did, though, is that until PlayStation has their show and tells us what games will be at launch or coming shortly within launch, I'm probably not going to pick this up for maybe a year or two after launch because, like, the Series X, I'm probably not picking up until a couple of years after launch because Microsoft has come out and said they're not going to come out with anything console exclusive until then. So everything that's on the Xbox One, it's going to be on the Series X as well.
Well, that's the only thing that's saving them is the fact that they're console exclusives.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't make sense. You've got to give us something. You got to give us a reason to have that console.
Exactly. I'm in the same boat where unless they literally blow my pants off with whatever they're going to present for the PS5, I probably won't get either of them for a couple of years as well. Yeah. Just because, as we've seen with past console launches, even the current gen we're in, there are a lot of things that go wrong with the first couple of years, whether it's the games, whether it's the hardware, software, whatever the case might be. It pays off to just wait a couple of years when it goes on sale for a little bit less and then buying it then.
And unless you're a content creator that draws in a big audience on new hardware, either videos or streams, you have no need to buy this thing. Like, if people had 25,000 people came in and watched me unbox and play around with the new console, I probably would get it on launch. That's not happening. So I'm going to save my money and wait because a good chunk of the games that I can play on my Xbox One X, and if I want to play them again on this, I'm not going to play them again on this Series X because they're going to be old by then, and all the new shit's going to come out. So,
I mean, let's not forget EA was like, hey, if you buy Madden 21 on the Xbox series on the Xbox One, you can upgrade it for free on the Series X. It's like, that's not incentive for me to want to buy Madden no matter what.
Yeah. But the thing with EA is that you have until 3 months after buying the game to upgrade it. After that, you have to pay full price for the updated version. I'm like, so my choice is from pretty amazing graphics to pretty amazing graphics plus 2 extra frames of data.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Sorry, I don't even think gamers, remember that old term, I don't even think gamers will care about that shit.
Yeah. I mean, look at, for example, and I mentioned it a bit ago, GTA 5. When it ported to the current gen of consoles, everybody was like, "Oh, what system do I put it in? What do I get it?" Because once you upgraded and you did the upgrade, you would move your old save to your new console. That was it. Then it's like, well, I can't. You have to create a new character elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it was different then because you put time and effort into the game and you're not losing anything. But with Madden, it's just like I can't bring myself to ever purchase ultimate packs from that shit heap. Yeah. Much like everybody knows I play FIFA. I haven't spent a dime on that garbage Ultimate Team or whatever the hell that mode is on FIFA, because that's another story for another day.
One of the things too, now you brought that up, is I remembered when I finally decided to cave in and get GTA 5 on the Xbox One because I wanted to do the game days. I remember months beforehand, I would grind out levels until I hit 100 and I unlocked the achievements, so that as soon as I ported my character over, all of my achievements would automatically pop up. It was like, yeah, I don't have to grind up for levels anymore. Now they mean nothing. Well, I mean, they don't mean nothing. They mean that you can buy any weapon from ammunition. Yeah. I think that was the only perk.
Yeah.
I think by the time you hit 120 is when you get the chain gun.
Yeah. Or if you get it in a drop, or they give it to you. Like I have a chain gun on the Xbox because I got it for April Fool's Day or for Christmas or one of the many holidays. But yeah.
So yeah, Sony event. It's now to be announced. We'll keep a bated breath and see. I mean, I will do a live reaction to it, and hopefully they don't bore the piss out of me like the last time.
I was gonna mention that. And here we're gonna talk about GPU. We're gonna talk about goo.
It's like I didn't even care enough to spin my chairs or spin in my chairs.
I'll be honest. I think I was working when that press conference was going on, and I fell asleep at my, like, obviously most everybody knows I work from. I fell asleep with my head on my desk because he was talking so like quiet and ASMR like, and I'm like, I can't watch this. I can't watch this.
When you talk about GPU versus CPU, it's important to understand. It's like, oh gosh, show us gameplay.
And we're going to talk about backwards compatibility, but only for the previous generation. Also, quick note, can we talk about the controller in the picture? How that kind of looks like they took an Xbox One and a PS4 controller, molded them together, and made that baby? Because everybody, as anybody who plays both consoles, everybody always has their choice in what controller they prefer. Mm-hmm. Except, I don't. I can, I'm fine with either. But a lot of people are like, I prefer an Xbox, and I prefer a PS4. Well, now you get the best of both worlds with that controller.
All I can see in that picture is a controller wearing a black sports bra. I mean, that's just what it looks like.
You know what it looks like?
There's the straps. Yeah, there's the straps.
Yeah, and there's the boobles. Yep.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Exactly. I mean,
where's Minibus to come in and say, nipples?
There it is. It now that you've said it, I can't not see it.
Right?
You cannot unsee PS5 sports bra.
It honestly also looks like an Ouya controller or one of those boomerang controllers that they clipped joysticks to.
It's just so weird.
Our controller has a touchpad. You're not going to find that on any other controllers.
Yeah,
the
take
PS4,
that touchpad the fuck out of there.
The PS4 just announced they have a touchpad in there. Oh god. If you go look up Crobat's video about Ouyas, and just all the clips from the CEO talking about gaming on television, and she talked about there's nothing special about this box. There's nothing. It's like you don't hear a lot of CEOs say there's nothing special about this box.
Hey, it's time to promote. I mean, it's okay. My grandmother played it, and she said, meh.
All right. Well, moving on from Sony to Xbox. Xbox announced for the Series X that backwards compatibility, they're going to add some new features to it. They're going to add HDR 120 frames per second support to older games. So that's original Xbox, 360, and Xbox One.
Somewhere like, Tom just
crazy.
Went.
Yeah.
Love you, Tom. Hope you're doing well, buddy. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean
go ahead.
I mean that's cool and everything. I'm glad that they're like, who would have thought that like Xbox would be the one that would care the most about backwards compatibility for the next like past couple of generations. Where they're just like, we know you care about your old games, so all right, let's let you play it. PlayStation's like, you know you care about your old games, so buy them again. But I have the disc. Yeah. It's like, well, just buy it again.
Subscription service.
It's like, you know what? I fucking hate Hyperkin. I'll just buy an HDMI cable from them and plug in my old console.
Mm. But what I was gonna say was, I mean, they're trying to extend their game library as much as they know how. Because I mean, you think about it, a lot of these old games, if you can't play them on the consoles, where's the only other place you can play them? Is on PC, either through a ROM or they get ported to Steam.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I feel like it's going to get to a point where consoles are just going to be, I mean, just gaming machines. There's no, different like classifications of, new console comes out. There are new games for that console. There's just going to be more powerful consoles coming out just to play the same games.
Yeah.
I've been on the opinion of the last, especially this generation. Like, I see everything on everything. Like, the only thing that really makes any console special is on Sony. I can play Last of Us. Horizon, Spider-Man, God of War, and like a bunch of other games. Although with a few games now, like Horizon and Death Stranding, those are coming to PC. So I can understand how some Sony fanboys are losing their shit. You know, some of their exclusivity is moving to PC. But I mean, as long as you keep it for like a couple of years exclusive, then what's the harm of putting it on another platform afterwards?
I mean,
Then again, it does lock away. I mean, like when I've seen like the Master Chief Collection now coming to PC, I'm really excited for everyone going like, yeah, it's, you know, Halo 2 is finally on the PC, and like, yeah, I'm happy for you, but I've been playing it for the last 4 years on my Xbox One because it's been there.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't do that because, you know, Don Matrick kind of killed your interest into it with the whole DRM thing. Yeah, and when I look at my Xbox, I use most like than any other console. But that's like if I want a multi-platform thing, I'll get it on that because that's where most of my friends are. And I have a Switch because Nintendo. Like,
I mean, especially now, recently since they've launched the NES Online and SNES Online. If that was all they put out on the Switch, I still would have bought one. Obviously, they've had some excuse me, they've had some good games come out on the system with it as well. But at the same time, just to play those old games and be able to play them online with people without having to use Parsec or some type of ROM or emulator. I got like Johnny, you and Wolf went through Super Mario World and got all 96 stars.
Yeah, 96 exits. Me and Woody played Mario 3. We played the Japanese version because
you and Shiro played it as well.
Yeah,
here on Gamedays.
Well, I played the All Stars version on my SNES Classic. What else we play? Me and Donut played Double Dragon 2 co-op.
Yeah,
we actually beat it.
It's one of those things where
I didn't do it the right way, but we still beat it. We did it the right day. We did it the right way by today's standards.
They usually say the joke. It was in the movie Tropic Thunder. The joke was whatever porn uses is what's going to dominate the next console generation. I don't know if anybody who saw the movie remembers that line, but in all honesty, I think backwards compatibility is what's going to determine what console sells the most versus the least, because we all love the games we've played as kids, and most of the people, let's be honest, who are buying consoles are our generation, like the 20 to 45-year-olds who grew up starting with the original Nintendo or Super Nintendo or 64 or whatever console you grew up with. We want to play the games we played as kids because how messed up the world is at times. We want to go back and capture that nostalgia factor. So we want to be able to play those. But if you're telling me I have to go out, I have to buy the console again and find the game, but also I got to find the game when it's $90 or $100 at some local gaming store, it's like, well, I want to play this, but at the same time I don't want to spend that much money on a single game that I'm going to play maybe a few times for nostalgia purposes. I mean, look at yeah,
and then you've got an older system with a newer television that may not have RCA cables anymore, and you're like, fuck, how do I do this? Then you gotta find the little box converter to make it HDMI, or find these companies that make these types of cables, whether they be super cheap or they be super expensive with all the extra doodads that most people don't care about. But if you're a graphics whore, you'll care that there's 1080p or 480p or whatever, and it's pixel perfect. I think Microsoft's doing it right by allowing you to at least still insert the disc. Like for original Xbox games, you put a disc in, it does like a quick install of an emulator to run the thing, and boom, you're in business.
That being said, I think the only console only company that's going to be safe with consoles into the far future is Nintendo. Just because there's so many games in common with Xbox and PS4 and PC now. Nintendo's the only console that comes out with exclusives that everybody constantly floods to. It may not have the same numbers as Xbox and PS4 in recent years, but they have a consistent fan base.
Yeah,
I mean,
new and old.
Yeah, the underlying joke is that you get the same 6 games on every Nintendo console: Smash Brothers, a Link game, Mario Kart, and I forget the other 3 in the joke, but
You got a
you get the same 6.
Mario
Yeah, you get
Party.
Mario. Yeah, exactly. But we all love and play those games, whether you're some little child who's 6 years old picking up the controller for the first time, or you're a 32-year-old man like myself. You'll pick that up and you'll play it for hours on end.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of Nintendo, though, I just kind of want to move on to the next story. Is that remember that cease and desist about that Mario 64 PC port? Oh, they're not done yet. Some modders have actually improved the graphics of the game. So there's Mario on the left there in his little pixelate form, and then I'm guessing that's a Mario Party 4 model.
That's what that kind of looks like. I'd say maybe
so
5,
cool.
but yeah, that looks it. The difference in those is just outstanding. Just the fact that they were it as someone who hasn't modded at all any games or is just new to the PC gaming scene, it is always amazing to me to look at just how detailed, like even the trailer we're watching right now, just the difference between just taking a little bit of time to put into the game and making the difference from 64 graphics to, let's say, GameCube or above graphics.
Yeah, and everything is upscaled. Apparently, like they did the textures as well. And like this isn't emulation. Like this is just a straight, like it's its own thing. It's its own game. It's its own port. Like there's no, like they reverse engineered it and made it its own game. Like I have no idea where you would be able to find this because Nintendo is trying its hardest to cease and desist it. But I mean, this is something that you would actually have to privately play yourself if you try to stream or put YouTube content. I'm surprised this video right here is currently up because Nintendo is trying hardest to be like, no, cease and desist this. It's like, well, it's on the internet, so it's on here forever.
Yeah.
This is it. Yeah. I
mean,
got
unless Nintendo intends to do something again with Super Mario 64, there's really no damage it does to their business.
Metal Mario.
Or at least not that I can think of.
The only problem they might have with it is because it, like you said, if they were planning on re-releasing it or remastering it or something like that, but it.
Yeah, there's rumors going around that like they're going to be doing some type of HD Mario ports in the near future, whether that be 64, Sunshine, or the Galaxy games.
Can we get Double Dash on the Switch?
That'd be nice. Can we get anything new Mario Kart related? Because like I know it's the top selling game on the Switch, but like it was also it was a Wii U game as well.
I mean, they just ported it and added a few new characters, and they kind of did that with Smash Brothers. But I think.
Oh no! Mario Kart 8, they did way more. They actually put it in a proper battle mode.
Right, that's right.
Yeah,
because we've done that here on Gamedays.
Yeah. So again, I'm always amazed at what modders can do. Whether people like support it officially or like Nintendo, you just cease and desist it, but. That's crazy. I saw that and I just had to show that. Moving on, last news story. This actually got announced yesterday. Sega is once again tackling a mini console, but we just didn't know how mini it was going to be. So Sega Japan announced the Game Gear Micro.
Oh, God.
So let me get that there because it's quite loud. So, yeah. That's the general size of a Game Gear, right? And then when they show off the size of this thing, my God. I'm waiting for it. Sega. And get hit with the Zelensky.
Oh my goodness.
Look how are you supposed to play that thing?
Do you guys remember like the old handheld games that were like officially licensed games like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or a Sonic game or something like that, like the handheld games? I can't remember who made them.
Tiger?
Back in the 90s. But yeah, exactly. Those things. That it's like that, but worse. It looks like.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's gonna come in 4 colors with 4 different games on each system. So the black one's gonna have a Puyo Puyo game, Outrun. I don't know what that RPG is, and then regular Sonic the Hedgehog. The blue one's gonna have Sonic and Tails, which I think was called Sonic Chaos here. Gunstar Heroes. God help me, I don't know what that is. And another puzzle game. Like for something that tiny, you tell me you can't fit a whole whack of games on that? Because like Game Gear games are just shrunk down Master System games. And guess how much it is? It's 498 4,980 yen. So in US dollars, it translates to $46.
Oh God!
So if you wanted to collect them all, that's going to cost you 200 plus, but with 4 games on each.
It looks like it's as big as the original Game & Watch console, Game & Watch handhelds.
It's even smaller than that.
Good God, why?
A big. Oh, okay. Well, at least they have just an adapter that just blows up the screen in case it's just.
Oh yeah, that's the thing too. It's like this thing's so small that you need one of those big things back in the day to like, oh man, I can't see anything. Oh, let me put this extender on there.
They put the extender on there so I can still not see it.
Here's a wonderful idea. Put a real screen on it.
Hey. But then it wouldn't be mini.
But the screen quality from what I've seen actually doesn't look that big, but this is just like to extend it like you would do back in the day though. Wordman saying Sunday the PlayStation Classic sounds like a good idea.
Nope.
I'm one of the ones that says, you know what? Sony maybe should have waited another 10 years before they released that thing because, it's not that nostalgic yet.
Yep.
I'm sure if they waited another 10 years and be like, yeah, I'm playing these old games. But then again, the 3D early Polygon era games, for a lot of people, you put your hipster glasses on, say, uninspired, or this has not aged well. I can't count how many YouTubers in the last, because of quarantine have gone back and played GoldenEye on Nintendo 64 and going, this has not aged well. It's like, well, of course not, because you're used to dual analog sticks for your first-person shooters, not a thumb in the middle and the C buttons.
God, could you imagine Apex with a 64 controller?
Oh. And the thing, too, with GoldenEye is that there's a ton of aim assist in that. Mm-hmm. Like, you walk up to the enemy and it automatically went for the head or some other body part. Yeah, this will not be on my shelf of mini consoles.
I'd probably spend money on the Best Buy ad that you have next to it than I would the actual the mini the mini thing. Right
Tech
there.
to stream your perspective on PC gaming. You got
there
what?
we go. A HyperX headset probably, and a
that's Sennheiser.
That's a JBL headset,
and that's a Stream Deck XL.
No, that's a regular Stream Deck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, XL. I'm fine with folders. I'm absolutely fine with folders. All right, so that's the news. It's kind of a light news week in the realm of video games and entertainment. The only other thing of note of entertainment I could talk about that we talked about last week was Ruby Rose leaving Batwoman. They are now actually considering not even recasting her character, but just straight up replacing her with a new character. And it's not Barbara Gordon. It's not Cassandra Cain. It's like Ryan something. Someone that has never existed in the DC universe at all. And some comic book fans are mad.
Well, to her credit, when you hear the reasons why Ruby left Batwoman, you can understand.
Oh, I did not know. What
So from my understanding, it was because of her mental health and dealing with the criticisms of her playing Batman, I think hit her harder than expected. So she was like, you know what? I can't take this. I'd prefer to, obviously, as we all struggle with quarantine and stuff, she was on the boat of my mental health is more important than playing this role. I appreciate the year and crossovers and all that stuff. I got to play Batwoman, but she went home to be with her family and work on her mental health, I guess, which is something that she struggled with for most of her life.
That's understandable.
Yeah, totally understandable. Yeah, I mean, I remember reading the vitriol of comments thrown at her, like, oh, she shouldn't play this. She's not, quote, gay enough. I'm like, what constitutes gay enough?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
unleashes
I didn't know that was the thing.
a whole other can
It's
of
like,
worms.
would you like
there.
to see the list of the vaginas I've
Just
like-
just load up the show Orange is the New Black. That should answer the question. Anyways, Wordman says, what about J.K. Simmons? That is true. I think, if I remember correctly, J.K. Simmons, who we all know and love as playing J. Jonah Jameson, has signed on to do more J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man films. Now, whether that's the next Tom Holland Spider-Man is, or what if it's the next Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse, I look forward to it.
Mm-hmm. I hope they bring him back in the DCEU because he was Gordon in Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
tell
was
me you
excited
didn't
about that.
pop. Oh, of course. Tell me you didn't pop when you saw him at the end. Spoiler alert: you didn't see him in the credit scene for Homecoming.
Oh, I popped hard. My theater popped hard for that because he's just an iconic role.
There's
It'd
a reason why
be like if somehow Kevin Feige unloaded enough money onto Hugh Jackman's porch in Australia, and it's like, we need you back as Wolverine. But he's tried though.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, you can't think it's like with J. Jonah Jameson. You can't think Wolverine without thinking of Hugh Jackman. And this is that point where we go, man, if only this kind of stuff happened like a decade earlier, maybe we would actually get Wolverine versus Hulk or stuff like that.
No, but I think Kevin Feige has he went to Jackman and Patrick Stewart and was like, we could really use Wolverine and Professor X in my universe, and they both tell him no. We're like, Logan was our goodbyes. We're done.
I mean, if they're gonna say goodbye, that's the movie to do it in.
Oh hell yeah!
The only thing I would like to see Jackman come out to play Wolverine for is a Deadpool movie, and we know that's not going to happen. So
closest you get is Deadpool 2.
Yeah,
which isn't even, he wasn't even technically in that. They just spliced Ryan Reynolds again into the X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, sorry, just cleaning up the timeline.
That was beautiful. That was gorgeous.
With Cher playing in the background.
All right. Well, that's it for the news. Next up, folks. I've never felt this bad about asking friends to do content on the internet since the old competitive series I did years back on the website I was a part of. I was part of a series called 4UP, where me and 3 other guys would pick a game and try to speed run it and see who would win. And I think I picked Super Castlevania 4. And before we even started, like, some of the guys were saying that they were practicing, and they're just like, Johnny, what did you do? I'm like, I'm sorry, I thought it'd be a quick video, like Castlevania 1, and not realizing that once you start getting into the later levels, it gets really, really hard, even without abusing save states. But now comes time where we review a movie based on a video game. But like last week, we did Wolf and I did The Wizard because we wanted to do something a little bit different. Review a movie based around video games. So I thought, hey, you know what? There's a movie that maybe it's like The Wizard. It's based around video games. But, oh God, I did not know what I signed us up for. Let's hurry up and get this over with. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Video Games, the Movie, the Game, the Review.
Oh.
And we are reviewing
the
2012 classic Noobz, starring one Jason Mewes of the Kevin Smith View Askew family. It's Jay without his hero life mate Silent Bob.
Wait. When did this movie come out? In 02?
No, 2012.
No, yeah.
And look, it's time for X-Play with Adam Sessler. Oh no, Exploitative.
for gamers. God, this movie.
So,
John,
Oh man.
there is.
before we get started, John, I watched this movie like 2 hours before the podcast because I wanted it to be fresh in my mind. I got to the half-hour mark, and I legitimately debated DMing you and saying, I can't watch this anymore.
I was like that in the first half hour too. I'm just like, you look at the trailer and you think, oh, wacky road trip on the way to a video game competition. What crazy stuff are they going to get into? There is not. I think this is the only crazy thing was fucking Frau from Austin Powers spraying pepper spray into the.
Sterling.
Yeah. Not only like this dude here, that's Blake Freeman, the guy in the car. He's one of the stars. He's the writer. He's the producer. He's the director. He is the Tommy Wiseau of this movie. Because he does it all. It's like nothing happens in this movie. Oh, and then we get this when this character showed up, I thought it was like the first thing that came to your mind was a Dr. Disrespect.
You're goddamn right it was. Pardon my language. But yeah, you GD right it was. Like, I thought it was like
Dr. Disrespect in 20 years.
That didn't hit me. I didn't notice that. Now that you say it, I
Uncle
cannot
Rico
unsee it.
cosplaying as
Why did you
Dr.
do
Disrespect.
That's the same actor, isn't it? That's the same guy
Yeah.
from Napoleon Dynamite. I fucking knew it.
Yeah, it's Uncle Rico cosplaying as future Dr. Disrespect. Streaming from whatever he does in 20 years. Oh, God, that tattoo!
Oh,
the trash
no.
stamp! Arma Gregdon.
The shorts.
The shake weight,
That
too.
scene,
He was
that
using
scene
the
was
shake weight.
torture.
And
I have a
geez,
feeling
I
it was-
wonder who's sponsoring this movie. It can't be that subtle. Cliffy B, I wonder if you had any involvement in this. I don't know because of the locust statue. That kind of looks like the one Alana Pierce has in her.
Or the Gears of 3.
Man, I sure could go
Pepsi.
for a refreshing Pepsi Max right now.
Yeah.
Or the consistent Gears logo that Muse has on his hat for 85% of the film.
Well, that's what they're competing in.
Or the Mountain
is Gears
Dew
of
all over
War.
the gaming convention. Yeah.
Like, okay, so they're a clan of 4 in a game where you can have a maximum of 5.
You know,
And they play like a last man standing game type. Like not even CTF or I don't even think there was a CTF mode in 3.
Not that I remember.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think there was. Like you could capture like a VIP and you had to drag him back to your center and then but
This movie sucks so bad. I legitimately forgot that Gears 4 was 5 player and 5 players on one team. It made me
no,
so
this is
dumb
Gears
that
3.
I forgot.
This is
Yeah,
Gears 3.
No, I'm saying it legitimately made me forget the basics of the game I've put hundreds of hours into.
Yeah. Like of all the things you're going to play at a tournament, why is it last man standing with like one shot, one kill? You're dead. And it's like matches go by in like 2 seconds. It's like, oh, the other team's gone. That's round 1. I'm like, wait, what?
Nothing happened. They spliced in some developer generated content. Like the first hour of the movie, I think, is them getting to the tournament, and then the last
Not
half
even.
hour.
It's like the first half hour. Like the rest of the time is them just being at the tournament.
Also, shout out to Robin Williams' daughter for being in this movie.
Yep.
Oh God, the shake weight!
I had to look back at the date because I was like, I wonder if it was at the same time as the European commercial for Ocarina of Time 3D, where Robin Williams and Zelda Williams were a part of. And I looked back and I looked at Nintendo's EU or European YouTube account, and yes, that's when those commercials were released. I was like, I felt bad for Zelda because like she does not deserve. And I love how they tout that Casper Van Dien of Starship Troopers is in this movie.
Yeah,
He's not.
like they legitimately, the swerve they put on with that shot right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only shot you get of Rico playing a video game. It was so stupid, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, see, that makes sense.
So the main problem I have with this movie, G1s, is that it's not funny. There's not one single solitary joke that lands. There's nothing, not even anything is entertaining. And the way it's shot, it's almost as if, like, no disrespect to any like YouTubers that make movies, but it's like a YouTuber shot this movie. Like, there's weird blocking issues and just scenes go nowhere. Audio is all messed up over the place. It's like, not even the shake weight. Not even that joke lands. It's like, shake weight, yeah.
I'll be honest, I had no idea what the actual fuck was going on in half the movie. Yeah.
And I'm like, normally on these reviews, we don't like to spoil the movie, but I'm going to pull my nostalgia credit card and I'm going to spoil it so you don't have to watch it.
Yeah, don't spend money on this.
Well, we didn't spend money. I didn't spend money on it.
Yeah.
I was legitimately going to watch it.
I had
streaming
to.
through Amazon.
Because here in the States, Amazon has it blocked for probably because it's going to fall under like the HBO Max or some shit. So I had to pay $4.99 to watch this piece of shit.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry. Because last night on my stream, someone found it for free. Actually, no, I found it. I Googled the trailer, and then underneath it was just like Noobz movie 2012. I was like, okay, the whole movie's here. Because, like...
Yep. Somebody did post it in your chat, and I clicked the link, and then right there is when I started watching the movie.
Yeah.
Could have passed that along to some other folks, so some of us didn't have to pay $5.
I thought you were in the chat!
I probably was, but I was lurking because I was working on some stuff. But God,
I remember Johnny, and I can go back and clip it. He says, "Yeah, we need to pass that along to Jimbo."
I
don't think
I paid $5 on this, and I spent $15 too much to watch this shit.
You want $10?
You know what, Jimbo? Next time you stream, I'll donate $5 on your stream.
Oh no, don't worry about that. But no, it was I with this kind of movie, I knew to have very low expectations just by watching the trailer. But man, did they fall even like? Oh,
I had low expectations for this, but not this low. I know it's gonna be like, funny. It's gonna be a movie about gamers, right? Yeah, but gamers will rise up or something stupid like that. I thought it was gonna be like a funny road trip. Like, oh, they're not gonna make the tournament on time, and blah, blah, blah. Like,
you expect a little bit of the Hangover series with a little bit of maybe video game high school. No, it's none of those.
It's just a bunch of nothing.
That's what they tell at the movie in like the press release stuff. The stuff I read on like IMDb is like, try to play a gaming tournament on a hangover. Nobody gets stupid drunk and goes, oh man, I don't know if I can help. Don't pick Marcus. I'm Marcus. I'm always Marcus. Me. There's none of that. They're like, the next day, they're like, all right, let's play this. Oh man, we lost the game. We won the next game. Yeah. And then like there's a subplot about the reason that Zelda's character is playing because she's going to take her share and buy her parents' house back. And that kind of spoiler, Jason Mewes ends up throwing the game so she can win the money and all that. Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is you know how at the end of those types of movies where they have like the side shot and it tells all the people's stories. Yeah, nobody comes good out of this.
Yeah, that was
that's the thing. Jason Mewes' character, quote unquote, does, but the reason is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not the reason you think. Like she goes back and buys Zelda Williams' character goes back and buys her parents' house, and so we're like,
and you read that one, you're like, yeah,
and then it cuts to Jason Mewes like, oh, maybe they ended up together. Nope, he's porking the fourth member of the team's mom. And then it cuts to the fourth member of the team's mom, aka Hollywood's mom, and it's like she's been getting hit by whatever Jason Mewes' character's name is. And I was like, fucking, like, none of those after, like, this is what happened to them after the tournament. It made no GD sense. Like, they had a fake rep come up, a rep from Mountain Dew come up. I'm going to sign you guys to a 2-year deal. You're going to tour the globe and play in video game tournaments, repping our brand. And then the very first like aftermath credit like still was that dude being arrested for impersonating a Mountain Dew executive. I'm like, what the actual fuck are we doing with this movie?
It went nowhere. It did nothing.
Can we talk about the trope of
the closeted, the possible? Oh yeah, there are a lot of things this movie missed on. This is one of them. I will say one thing they did hit on was we need to screen the people we play video games with better, because there's a scene where it's the what was the clan, the
Black Assassins.
Yeah, it's the Black Assassins, and it's like 3 young African American gentlemen or youths, and then it's the adult like 50 something. It's like Eric in 10 years playing video games with kids. It's like if Eric sponsored Minibus in a video game tournament.
Yeah, and then I was like, yeah, I guess we both need to be looking into who's actually on our team.
Well,
like, yeah, that's so weird.
The one thing I will say is that his teammates' reaction to this, and I never bothered to learn the name, but they said, obviously he's closeted, but he's like trying to be still a macho, and the other character's like, dude, we don't care, just be you. And he's just like, what do you mean? No, like, I love the pussy. I totally love the pussy.
Thank you, Al Pacino.
Yeah,
Tropic Thunder.
But I mean, even the whole time, it's like again, his character does nothing and goes nowhere.
No.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie.
Even the end scene when they're standing there as the Pixies are celebrating their victory, so you're allowed to believe one thing, and then they hit you with, he's got this hot model, comes up to him, kisses him on the cheek, like, hey babe, why don't you go give me a Diet Pepsi or something like that. And then it's like, well, what was, huh? Are you teasing him as such? Or like, because even, I will say another thing they did right is his buddies were like, yeah, we don't care if you are that way. It was like the clip from South Park where it's like, are you gay, Butters? I mean, it's fine if you're gay. It's we support you for it. But I like that. I'm looking at the trailer again. I haven't seen the Hollywood characters show up once, other than when they teased it with Rico.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just realized too is that in the trailer the font for Noobz looks like Jackass.
Burn, burn, burn down.
Yep.
Johnny Knoxville, and this is getting owned in Gears 3.
Burn, 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 burn.
Yeah.
When it's cyber party, we will party hard, party hard.
Yeah. Please do not watch this movie. Do not watch this movie.
If
your brain cells will melt. I mean, we've watched terrible movies on this segment before. I mean, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Yeah, but at least with Mortal Kombat Annihilation and Street Fighter, there's some bits of enjoyment here and there. Like in Street Fighter with Raul Julia overacting as Raul Julia can.
Might have been the most important day of your life. For Bison, it was a Tuesday.
Like, you can't beat that. This is like, I can't think of one quotable line from this, if any. Like, stuff goes on way too long. The pacing is all horrible. Like, oh my god, like I told the guys this before we started. I had, like, to regain faith in Jason Mewes again, I had to watch the Jay and Silent Bob reboot today. And you know what? It didn't hit me. It didn't give me the laughs as like past View Askew movies have, but I got some enjoyment out of it.
I thought it came. I misread. I thought it was 2002 because then it would have made more sense with how garbage the movie is. About we didn't even talk. Bill Bellamy is a podcaster shoutcasting the event. I'm like, where did they pull that cameo from?
I don't know who that is. Please elaborate on that.
He was someone who was big in like in the 90s on MTV, early aughts. I think he was an actor. He was a VJ on MTV.
Okay.
But for those that know who Bill Bellamy is, it just, again, the Adam Sessler bit I could I could understand because it's a video game tournament. Even he in the movie, you have to believe that was a genuine line when he's talking to the leader of the Black Assassins. He's like, "Oh, I can't do this anymore." You have to imagine that was him actually talking, not his character. He was just like, "I can't do this shit anymore," because that's the last time we see him in the movie.
Isn't this This is getting. I'm trying to remember when G4 shut down or when X-Play shut down.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to remember. They had to be around that time. I'm thinking back to now where he had that like weeks ago where he had that big long Twitter reply of what was the worst programming fuck up of your life, and it's when he worked at G4 and they were airing the Microsoft press conference at like midnight for some strange reason, which I don't think Microsoft's ever done again. But he's like, we're gonna show Halo 3 gameplay of Halo 3, and then like it's like, you guys enjoying this? And all of a sudden you just hear, they're still showing it. They're still showing it. They're still showing it. I mean, it cuts commercial in the middle of the trailer. And then they came back and they had to replay the trailer again.
And yes, Wordman is correct. 2013 is when it was the last episode. The last episode aired in January of 2013. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That was the number one fuck up of G4 at E3. The second was Keith Apicary showing up during the Olivia Munn section going, have you guys seen the Dreamcast 2? Dreamcast 2? I have to ask about, like, who are the people at that E3 going up to Olivia Munn to do some type of trivia thing to win a thing of peanuts? Is that supposed to be for journalists and developers only? Like, are these devs? Or are these like people from IGN showing up at this stupid game show?
Yeah, it's people from it's Greg Miller from then IGN, and I don't know.
Oh no! All right, well, it's time for questions. Also, too, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I've now I tested this out on the last week's podcast, so we now can section off in the timeline where things are. So if you're the kind of person that, you know, doesn't want to hear about our weeks and just want to hear our thoughts on news, you can skip to that and it'll actually show, like, when you can create timestamps and it'll actually create it in the bar. I thought that was pretty cool. So
yeah, I think that's a new feature they added.
Yeah.
So if you want to say skip the entire last 15 minutes where we've just shit on that Noobz movie, you can do that.
And I totally wouldn't blame you.
That's my favorite movie of all time. I don't want to watch that. All right. More power.
So of course, Q&A. This is where we pull questions from our Discord. We do take them throughout the 2 weeks in between the podcast, so feel free to drop in questions in at any time. It doesn't have to be the day off. Just saying. Watch Noobz. Okay. No, silent. Don't.
What?
Well, I mean, it's on YouTube for free. I ain't your supervisor. I don't care what you do. But still, for your own sanity, just don't.
Yeah,
it's not worth your time.
No,
it is not.
Like,
I went brain dead the second it started.
I'd rather go back and watch the Power Rangers 2017 reboot movie than watch Noobz again. That was
really hot take.
Yeah,
Power Rangers. You didn't care for that one?
No, I cared. No, I'm saying I'd rather watch the Power Rangers reboot than watch Noobz because God, Noobz. I can't. I mentioned it earlier. I got to the 30-minute mark of the movie, and I honestly considered turning it off and just reading, like, going online and reading what the rest of the movie, because I couldn't. It was so just, as Zach has said, nothing happened. Nothing continued to happen, and nothing came from the movie.
Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. It's over. A lot of people in the audience look pissed.
Like, you could literally watch the first 2 minutes and the last 30 seconds, and you would still know everything that happened in that movie because nothing happened in between.
You could probably cut that down to a what they call what the hip, one of the hip things now are the Quibbies or whatever they are, like the 10-minute videos. You could cut that movie down to 10 minutes and it would be a decent thing. But whatever that shit is they did for an hour and a half is Batman v Superman is a masterpiece by comparison.
I don't mind Batman v Superman.
I mean, it gives us that "Do you bleed" moment.
Yep.
Actually, there's a there's a joke in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot where they meet up with Holden McNeil, who's played by Ben Affleck, and he gives off this nice speech about like when you have kids, like when you're a young bachelor, you're trying to figure out the world. You're kind of like Bruce Wayne, but then when you have a kid, you're no longer Bruce Wayne. You're Thomas Wayne, or you're Batman's mother, whose name escapes me for some reason. All right, questions time. Questions. We gotta get the questions. We're trailing off. Silent Hero asks,
Why did you say that name?
if PlayStation were to make a new All-Stars Battle Royale game, what missing classic PlayStation icons and or new icons would you want added to the roster?
Ooh.
Probably Ally, for sure.
Mm-hmm. What's the name of the protagonist from Horizon Zero Dawn?
Ally.
Oh yeah, sorry. I haven't played the game in forever.
Yeah.
Apologies. I was gonna make a Crash Bandicoot joke, but
yeah, Crash and Spyro. They originated on the PlayStation. I mean, they're multi-console now, but I mean,
anyone else from Tekken besides Heihachi Mishima?
I'm trying to think back. Any classic Dante, maybe Snake. Like the little problem I had with PlayStation All-Stars, the first one was they made some choices based on what was coming out. So pick DMC Dante. Oh, we need Rising Revengeance Raiden because Revengeance is coming out soon. It's like, Smash Brothers don't pick characters because they have a game coming out. Like, tell me when the next Castlevania featuring Simon Belmont's coming out. Or a Donkey Kong Country with King K. Rool as the villain.
They're working on it.
Or how about Joker from Persona 5? Persona 5's not even on the Switch.
Lara Croft's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm looking over in chat as well for our wonderful G1 answers.
I think though,
I don't know what characters were in the were in All Stars.
I
don't remember.
Two different versions of Cole from Infamous. Nathan Drake, Heihachi,
Kratos, the Big Daddy from BioShock, Pap Rappa the Rappa,
Fat Princess.
Yeah. What's the knight from Medieval? Sir David, I think. Kratos. Yeah. Something from not Resistant. I gotta pull it up next. Now it's gonna bug the hell out of me.
Yep. Sir Daniel Fort Rescue. Killzone guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ratchet. Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss Ratchet and Clank.
It's a good series right there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, Lara Croft would probably be one of the easier answers because, she started off on the PlayStation.
Yeah. Isaac Clarke was one from the game.
Yeah, but I highly doubt Sony will ever do another game like that again. Even though, All Stars was not terrible.
No, it was. I think with how. Granted, the PS3 had some decent multiplayer, but with how big multiplayer games have gotten since with this current generation, I mean, if they did a second one, I'd be down to play it. Oh, Sackboy.
Oh yeah, Sackboy was in that.
Oh yeah,
Noriko from Heavenly Sword. That's the character I keep forgetting about.
Mr. Teal Wolf asks, what is most important to a game for you? A single player story mode or an engaging multiplayer experience?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, if you're making me choose between the two, I go single player. I mean, no offense to, a good multiplayer experience, but I like a good story. There's a reason why I picked up Marvel Spider-Man. It's not because of the open world stuff. It's I want to know the story. Same with the Batman games. A multiplayer experience, I usually don't get in if a game's multiplayer only. I usually wait until it's on a cheap enough sale, and I know it's something that like this circle is probably going to get as well. So I have someone like people to play with, as evidenced today with I don't want to throw him under the bus, but Eric streamed there when no one was around to play Titanfall 2, and you're just playing with randos. It just becomes absolutely frustrating. So
yep.
I'll always go single player over multiplayer every time. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite of you. I mean, I do enjoy a good story. If it's a single player game, if it doesn't have a decent, engaging story with, some kind of lore to it, any kind of lore, I really do enjoy. But I am more focused on multiplayer aspects. Like, I love playing with friends when I can. It's usually like 90% of the time I'm playing video games, I'm playing multiplayer with somebody. It's just I don't enjoy playing games by myself. And a lot of the times I don't have like the time to sink into and enjoy the story. Majority of the time I'm like, okay, I need to get through this cutscene so I can keep going in the game. Otherwise I'm getting nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Jimbo?
I tend to lean towards the single player experience than the multiplayer, only because I still love having, like, if the game has like a great story to it, I'll go back and replay that story over and over and over again. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to poo-poo on a multiplayer experience over a single player, but at the same time, especially lately, I'm more for, like I said, I'm more for the single player campaign, but with the way everything is nowadays and just how immersed into certain games I will not say no to a good multiplayer experience.
Mm.
So call me a pancake because I'm flopping all over the place.
I mean, hopefully with the question, Wolf, isn't that if we would pick one over the other, because
it's just which do we prefer.
it's all dependent on the game too. Like with Halo 5, like I blitzed through the story, and then I can't count how many hours I've put into multiplayer on that game. I think I went through the campaign once of Halo 5 and never touched it again. The next time I will touch it will probably be when we do a co-op experience. So like me and Woody and whoever else wants to join us, because that's gonna be the one that we go through, because that's 4-player. But like I can't even remember half of what happens in that game. I'm just like, because like the advertisements for Halo 5 lied to you, because you think like, oh, Master Chief's gone rogue, or so you think. I think that conflict comes up once for like 2 minutes. Locke and Master Chief show up. It's like, you're gone rogue. It's like, I'm trying to find Cortana. Okay, I'll help you. Conflict over. Ugh.
Yeah.
Really, really quick, Johnny. You're so close to like a perfect Master Chief voice. It's not even funny. Just when you went to say, I'm going to go find Cortana. That was really dang close.
I'm going to find Cortana.
Yep. I hear it now, yeah.
Dude, that was good. But no, in that aspect, yeah. I mean, if there was a Halo game where the story was just awful, I more than likely wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy Halo multiplayer, but I enjoy Halo more for the story than anything else. So that's where my kind of turning point is.
I could do another one. Someone do the Ron Perlman voice. Like someone give me a Ron Perlman voice. Tell me to defend the station.
Defend the station.
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
Oh, and that wasn't a good Ron Perlman. Yeah, no, that was good on.
No, Ron Perlman would be like this: Master Chief, defend the station. I'm Ron Perlman.
Oh God, Hellboy, you're here too.
And Batman. I was Batman once.
Oh yeah.
Justice League Heroes, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance of the DC. Melanie and I did a Let's Play for that on my YouTube channel years back, and my God, we got stuck in one level for, I swear to God, for like half hour, 45 minutes. It was just a maze trying to get through. So it's just the speed up of me going like, and then we just speed up where you hear like a, oh my God, we did it. All right, last year's leader, Woody Man asks, what game would make you buy a console?
Ooh.
Well, seeing as how I buy all consoles regardless, it usually has to be an exclusive. So let's theoretically say, as far as Xbox goes, if I didn't get a Series X prior to it coming out, I would get a day of launch for Gear 6 because I love Gears, I love the story, I love the lore. I need to finish it, and if I don't have a Series X by then, I will get it for that. Sony, for PS5,
Spider-Man.
oh yeah, Spider-Man 2 would make me get that.
Yeah.
I can't speak on Horizon because I haven't played the first one yet. It is on my to-do list. Don't have to worry about Last of Us. The Last of Us 2 is coming out in a couple weeks on PS4. Oh, Warband makes a good point. If for some reason Square decides to say, fuck you, we're continuing FF7R on the PS5, no PS4 games, then yeah, I'd get PS5 for Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 or 3 or whatever they come up with. My question, my hope for Square would be have some way for me to transfer my data from one part to the other. Because if they do like a Metroid thing where it's like, oh, you tripped and fell and lost all your materia, gotta go get that again. Oh, you tripped and fell and lost all your swords too. I am waiting for some type of bullshit where they say, oh, you don't have all your stuff again. Oh, you gotta start over. At least with Mass Effect, it's like, okay, your decisions transfer over. Obviously, you've maxed out to level 50. We're not going to put you at level 50, so you're going to go back. You're going to go down to level 10. You're not going to start level 1, but you're going to be level 10. So you can put some points towards some abilities. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Nintendo, I mean, you know, a Mario and Zelda game. If a new one came out and it wasn't for the other console. Yeah, that's mine. Jimbo, what would make you buy a console?
I mean, I mentioned it for PS5 Spider-Man. For me, I can't. I don't know. I jokingly mentioned Spider-Man for you, but at the same time, the main reason I got a PS4 eventually was because Destiny there's a Destiny launch with the PS4, the original Destiny, and man, I'm really glad I gave other games a time other than just Destiny because that's we all know how bad Destiny got. At
Not me, I
launch.
never played it.
Extra Life? No, I'm kidding. Anyways, I don't know if there is a game that I would say if we're talking to get the console at launch. PlayStation, I mean, I'm looking forward to Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 and a few other games on it, but I can't justify if any of those games launched with it, I couldn't justify buying it. Nothing gets me that excited for it, but you give me with Xbox with Halo 6 or Halo Infinite or whatever they're calling the next one, or Gear 6, I'm buying it then because
Well, Infinite is coming on the Xbox One.
Right. So then
with
Gear
a free
6,
upgrade, yeah, with a free upgrade to Series X. So
yeah. Unless they launch an Xbox with Minecraft 2, then maybe I'll consider it.
Minecraft 2.
Minecraft 2.
It's oh god, I can't even imagine what that game would be.
Minecraft 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Everything circles.
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
Nintendo, easy. Like literally any major Nintendo title would get me to buy one of their consoles.
Yeah.
PlayStation, I don't know, it'd be rough. The only reason I bought a PlayStation 4 was so that I could play through the other Kingdom Hearts games. I haven't even done that yet. So I don't really think there's much.
Yeah. I mean, they're on Game Pass
Xbox,
now, so
yeah. Xbox, literally just the new Call of Duty game that's just restricted to the new console, next gen console. I would buy it day one, just because fanboy, whatever. I love Call of Duty. I've bought every single Call of Duty on release day or the day after since Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
I adore Call of Duty.
Wordman asks. I move away from the mic. Dion, or coming out on time here. I think that was the last question. Yes.
On day.
Chocolate rain.
Oh.
As the Raw general manager chimes in. Wordman asks, you have 72 hours to save the world. What game do you play to save it?
Are we talking like a pixel situation?
Her Last Starfighter?
Yeah.
Or do you just have to get through a game?
Yeah, are we talking like a multiplayer? Or are we talking like if I don't get a win in, like, let's say it, just an example off the top of my head, if I don't get a W in Apex, the world's gonna end? Or if I don't get a W in 72 hours in Apex, the world's gonna end? Or are we talking like you got to beat a single player esque?
Yeah.
Am I being dropped into the game?
Yeah. Is it like Ready Player One?
If I die in the game, do I die in real life?
You die in the game, you die for real.
Whoa, I know Kung Fu.
I thought your mind makes it real. If you die in the Matrix, you die in real life.
You think that's air you're breathing now?
This is one of those old like videos that would get shared on email with someone just putting fart noises into the Matrix.
Sure, why not?
That got passed. My dad used to get those all the time. He was like, "Oh, this funny video."
I know Kung Fu.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there it is.
Or someone with a shitty version of 3DS Max made the Matrix trailer with using South Park characters, but they're all round and. I'd go Mario 3. I do like the wizard. As like beat me. That's the magic flute. Use it. It opens the warp. How the fuck do you know that? I said that 2 weeks ago. I'll say it again, Haley. How the fuck do you know that? When 20 minutes ago you were bitching about them making a new game you didn't know about. But Jimmy was a king of Ninja Gaiden.
Jimmy King?
I will rule you.
Sorry. Taking it off on a tangent. Zach, what game would you choose?
Just for the sake of time, probably Star Fox 64.
Ooh,
I can get through that game in like 45 minutes.
Nice.
Try U-turn.
Do a barrel roll. I've got two, and they're both on the SNES. It would either be Mega Man X, which is one of my all-time favorite games, or I would play, because I know I can beat it in under an hour, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, the game. It was the second Power Rangers game that came out on SNES many years ago.
Wow, I struggle with that game.
It is a, trust me, I've had many rage-inducing
because like it's what, 3 lives and no continues.
Yeah, obviously you can get more lives, and if you play with friends, they can be This is one of those games that if you play with friends or play co-op, the person you play with could unintentionally screw you without even realizing it. Like, oh hey, there's a cheeseburger on the ground. I'm gonna pick it up. No, wait, okay, you picked it up. Oh hey, look, I killed a putty and it dropped a power bolt, so you can get your weight and be able to morph. Oh, I picked it up. I'm not even close to morphing, even though you're like one drop away from being able to morph. Screw it. The levels mini boss shows up and we can't morph yet. That's fine. It's whatever.
Jeez.
Trust me, I've broken at least 3 controllers playing that game with friends. Whether it be ripping it out. Whether it's ripping it out from the console and then chucking it against the wall, or straight up doing like they did in Ken Griffey Jr.'s Major League Baseball game, where they smash the bat over their knee. Oh, come on!
I love that animation.
So good. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it for our questions, and that's gonna do it for us tonight. But first off, it is time to shill. It's time to tell you what's going to be coming up in the next couple of days here on the channel, and then everyone else can plug their own shit. So tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, it's going to be Halo Reach on the Xbox One with Mr. Debaser.
Yeah.
That's part of the Master Chief Collection. Saturday will be Monopoly Plus on the Xbox One at 9 p.m., and that's with Mr. Jimbo Socks.
Yep. This time I'm going to be playing I'm going to be doing the speed dice, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Last time I played Monopoly on Game Days, not Minecraft, but just regular Monopoly, we had a game that lasted the full 3 hours. That ended with me rolling a 7 to land on Wordman Space to then go bankrupt. But I will be using the quick dice this time, so we can maybe get through a couple of games, not just one.
Nice. And I'll
also,
be
did you know that 7 is the most commonly rolled number in Monopoly?
I did not know that,
Really?
but I'm sure there'll be a bit alert that will tell us that.
Why is that?
Because mathematics.
I was gonna say, is he gonna go into the whole thing or no?
No,
Math.
I'm just gonna do that.
On Sunday morning, early morning for us here, but evening for our brother down under, Garfield. He'll be hosting Overwatch on the PC. That'll be at 6 a.m. Eastern time, but 8 p.m. Australian time Eastern, if you live down under. And Sunday, running off our week will be Mr. Teal Wolf with XCOM 2 on the Xbox One. It's an Extra Life incentive. It is the host play each other's favorite games. So this is Short Bus Eric's favorite game. These games, you make the G1s, you make yourselves, and you
try not
to die. Which I don't think anyone's died yet.
Claire did.
Claire's
and it
dead.
was through I think it was through some BS, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. All right.
It's okay, that means Robo Claire gets made.
Yeah. So it is time to shill. Jimbo, you go first. What are you shilling?
I mean, you shilled all at Game Days for me, so I can't shill that. My brain broke.
Yeah.
I joke about being, we talk about me being the show master, but it is nice every once in a while when I don't have to shill for someone. Claire. Legitimately, I've considered doing recording a show for folks and then just sending it to them like, here you go. All you gotta do is upload it or, get it ready and press a button to play it. For me, on my channel, I mean, I haven't streamed as much recently, and the reason being, and I've talked about this. I talked about this when I went live last week with my drunk/tipsy stream, where I played about 4 or 5 games, and just to see how I would handle playing games, streaming, and having alcohol in my system. I talked about it then. I haven't streamed much because there are some of my friends and fellow streamers who were hit harder than I was with COVID, with the, whether it's furloughs or layoffs from the job because of COVID or whatever the case might be, but they were hit harder than I was. I would rather go support them and have other folks support them than support myself, who, wasn't as, unfortunate as others were. So I haven't streamed as much because I've wanted to support all our lovely G1s as well as other streamers out there. I will say, Johnny, and this is kind of a reveal, if you will, but you, Robe, Eric, and a few others have received kind of anonymous, small anonymous dominations. Yet anonymous dominations. I can't say anonymous donations over the last few weeks. Yeah,
I've received anonymous dominations. No wonder my ass is sore.
Yeah. I have kind of been anonymously I'm gonna say it again. God, we all know I can't talk. I have been anonymously donating to G1s throughout the course of the last few weeks because I know that some folks struggle. I know that times are hard, and I just wanted to give a little bit. It's not much, but I wanted to give a little bit just so things are a little easier for them. So that's the reason I haven't been streaming, but. If you do check out my channel, I play I play some battle royales, aka Apex, Slay the Spire, and some MLB The Show, which I should get back to so I can get back to Old Man Phil pitching for the first time in the majors.
Yeah. So that will be, if you ever do that, you'll be sure to follow Jimbo over on twitch.tv/JimboSocks13. So Zach, I think you addressed it at the beginning of the podcast, so imagine that you're probably not going to be streaming for quite a while until the hand heals up.
So I actually go back to the hospital tomorrow to have my stitches out. And actually part of my physical therapy is just using my left hand as much as possible with guitar, video games, whatever it might be, to help strengthen that muscle because part of the muscle is gone. So when they stitched it back up, the muscles healed together. So now I've got to get it like stretched back out and worked back out again.
Mm-hmm.
So I've taken the summer semester off from school just because 2020 has just been a crap year so far. And I need a break. So I will be streaming games, probably me playing guitar, writing some music just as part of my physical therapy. So it's just more for people to come hang out and chill with me while I do that more than anything else. If you want to come hang out, twitch.tv/the fat man. And usually whenever I stream, my Discord is always open. So people can just come hop in whenever they'd like and, come chill, hang out. Just a good place to be.
Awesome. As for myself, tomorrow I'm going to be going back to Chrono Trigger at 7 p.m. Which, man, like yesterday when I streamed that, we got a whole bunch of really cool new folks coming into the chat that were just like, "Oh man, this is one of my favorite games. The soundtrack's baller." Like I haven't had that with a whole lot of games. It's just like, I'll come play it. And, the G1's come in and watch there. But man, like I've been really enjoying this playthrough, especially with all the new folks coming in and getting super nostalgic for the game. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm over at twitch.tv/JohnnyLChase, and I'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern start time tomorrow. Friday is when my wife and I play games, just because she's working. She gets every other weekend off. I think we might do a 50-turn Mario Party. Which one I don't know yet. Probably will stick to 2 because 1 tends to shred my palms doing that motion there.
You don't have the Nintendo glove or a Michael Jackson glove to wear while you do it?
No. We have these blankets. I suppose I could use those.
I would just avoid it.
Yeah. All right. So that is going to do it for us tonight, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and participating in chat and the questions. If you're watching live on Twitch right now, stick around. We are going to raid Game Attack Team because Grayson's currently playing through Bloodborne right now. They are on a couple of OTs, so he'll be going for the next little bit. If you're watching on YouTube, what the hell's raiding, you're asking? Well, come and join us over on twitch.tv/JohnnyL. Jesus Christ. G1_Gamedays.
And also, if you're watching this on Twitch and you don't subscribe to our YouTube, youtube.com/G1_Gamedays. Do it now because you also get the podcast, you get the best ofs, you get special clips. We sometimes upload the full game day to there, i.e. when we did Minecraft Monopoly.
Oh, yeah. Like
there's fan fiction.
That too.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff on the YouTube. So, everyone, go give your love to the Game Attack Team. So, for us here at the podcast, good night, and we'll see you on Friday for Halo Reach.
Stay safe.
Not